Die Hard 2, Die Harder, is probably the most underrated film of the Die Hard series, and probably the most underrated Christmas movie ever. I say that it's the most underrated Christmas movie because everyone, like most people, know that Die Hard 1 from 1988 is a Christmas movie. But most people don't know that its sequel is also. Now, is this movie as good as Die Hard 1? Not quite, but I do think that people kind of really underrate this because it's kind of a big like I wouldn't say kind of a big rehash of the first one. Okay. The movie deals with John McClane, who is now who's transferred to LA because that's where his wife now works. He catches an early flight to Washington, D.C. They're going to visit her in-laws for Christmas. And there's there's a group of these terrorists, and they seize this area nearby the airport, and they tamper with all the airport things in order to safely when they tamper with everything, they pretty much take the whole area hostage in order to really ensure the safe landing of this crazy general named Esperanza, who is played by Franco Nero. The head of the terrorists that's going to rescue Esperanza, his name is Colonel Stewart, and when he tampers with things, of course lives will get lost and lots of explosions will happen, so it's up to John McClane to save the day. Because the reason it's up to McClane is because the airport police dude is, he doesn't think that he thinks that he doesn't really think much of. He thinks that John's just paranoid over what happened at Nakatomi Plaza. But when the first major explosion happens, eventually, him and McClane work together with all the regular people to make sure that nothing bad happens. The reason McClane is so worried about everything, it's of course because he's a policeman, but it's also because his wife is on the next flight in from LA, and her plane's running out of fuel. So here's what I love about Die Hard 2, okay? Even though it's not as fresh as the first one, it's not as immersive as the first one, more things are at stake here. You really wonder to yourself, and I love this about whenever films do this to me, you wonder, how on earth are the good guys supposed to win? How on earth how can people end up surviving this, right? And that's what I loved about this film. Also, this movie's more violent than the first one. It's a sequel, gotta up the body count, gotta up the violence, but aside from it being more violent, the action sequences in this were awesome. And yeah, I think that the main reason people think that this is one of the weaker installments of nobody dislikes this, but I think the reason people think that this is one of the weaker installments of the Die Hard franchise is because, people consider it to be a big rehash, but when you really look at it, it's not just a big rehash. It does still have its own identity to it. And as I said, I loved everything about this one. It's almost like a James Bond picture set in an American airport. John McClane is totally awesome character, and Bruce Willis is he's awesome here. And him playing John McClane again, we really get to see how awesome he is. I love this film dearly. I got to give this movie 4 stars out of 4.